Scarlet and gray. I
Great.
like
Well, listen, I know you're a Cincinnati guy.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Ex-Cavalier myself, but anyhow.
My man, what was the key here? After what we've seen in the last week, what was most important? Let's put the Kings to the side for a second. What was most important about the Heat performance?
I just thought we were more connected at both ends of the court tonight. We were more like ourselves. I thought we played with a sense of urgency, maybe a little desperation, which doesn't bother me at all. I love teams that have a sense of urgency or are desperate. They usually play better. But it looked more like the Heat that we've seen up until the last 4 games. So it was good to stop the bleeding. I mean, especially before you go on this. It's going to be a tough 3-game road trip. Mm-hmm. But let's take a look at these numbers coming up, okay? So these are really pretty much self-explanatory, but when we win the battle in the paint, we're now 30-11. When we win the rebounding battle, we are 34-7. And when we win the bench battle, which hasn't happened in a while, but thank you, Tyler Hero, we are now 37-14. So these are pretty impressive numbers for a team that is having a pretty impressive season.
A little 15 spot by Duncan Robinson. We'll talk about that change a little bit later, but right now, I'm sure Coach Spoelstra will get some questions about it. It's the post-game press conference. It's presented by Baptist Health.
A lot to ask. I guess start with the rotational change, Max starting, and a couple of other twists and turns there.
Yeah. Look, these are tough decisions, and there's a lot of different things that could work. We just felt at this particular time, that these moves may clean up some things, with the rotation. But those aren't, easy things, and I think we all just have to have, empathy and grace, for some of these changes for the guys that didn't necessarily play tonight. And an understanding that we have a roster full of proven, capable guys, and we're going to need everybody, particularly as we get this final push and get, into the playoffs. A lot of this is going to be matchup based, but for this particular time, we just, we had to do some things, and we'll just keep an open mind, to what we may need to do, moving forward.
Eric, it did seem like it was about more than one move, though.
Yeah, no, this wasn't a one-move thing. We were very disappointed about the last 4 games. And this has been trending, really, even before that while we were winning. And again, it's not an indictment on anybody. Sometimes, these things can be chemistry things. Sometimes it's just the flow of certain guys playing off of each other. So you can finish your question.
Yeah, no, I mean, to follow on that, it seemed like you wanted to get out. Well, a couple of things. You got Tyler out there with some minutes with Bam earlier.
Yeah.
It seemed like you subbed Tyler in differently instead of subbing in for the 2 guard. You subbed in for Jimmy. But then also additionally, it just seemed like you wanted to get more shooting out there at times with Jimmy playing more, I guess, at the 4. Were there layers to this?
There are a lot of different layers to this. And again, it's just one game. Our roster is deep, and our roster checks a lot of different boxes, which we feel you need in the playoffs. Each, if we're fortunate enough, to play multiple series, they have totally different needs and complexions, and we feel our versatility and our depth is really one of our greatest strengths of this team. But yeah, we just felt at this time, to be able to maximize the strengths of our, most skilled, most talented offensive players. We felt like these moves made sense right now. But, we'll be open-minded, to do whatever's necessary moving forward.
You often talk about relief points in games. What about a relief game during a losing streak?
Yeah.
How nice is it to exhale at least for the moment?
Yeah, I think it helps, for everybody. But I don't mind these stretches. They force you, if you approach it the right way, to address things, these are things that we had been feeling for, a few weeks. And it wasn't a matter of a lack of effort or lack of want or a lack of commitment. There's some things, detailed things that we needed to address, and we're going to have to continue to address them and try to get to, another level, a better version. That's what every team is trying to get to, but we're not satisfied where we are right now, to where we want to go.
What does it say about how much someone is a hoop head that a day earlier they lose in the Elite Eight to Kansas in Chicago, and the next night they're at your arena, Jim Larinaga, taking in tonight's game? What does that say about him?
What an absolute basketball junkie. I love him. I absolutely love him. Not to go on vacation, not to think about anything else. Go on a it was less stagnant for sure.
Eric, with
But it was in a lot of places where he can be successful and effective. But same, for Tyler, and same for Bam, and on down the line.
Regardless of the efficiencies and everything, Max and Duncan can do so many of the same things. With that starting unit, do you expect it to, at least offensively, operate and function differently?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're asking. I want to be open to it. They are different players, so I want to be open to the possibilities of how it can look differently. They're both really important to our team. And I think it's easy just to put them in the same box. They're not. I just think, at this time, this made sense. But they're both really important.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.